So get this. What if I told you that 75% of your weight loss is due not to the gym, but to diet? That's right. 75% of your weight loss is due to diet and only 25% is due to the gym. With all of the noise nowadays of all the different diet options and advertisements and fat burners and magic pills that you could take, it's overwhelming, right? So today I want to get down to the basics, and I want to chat down to the basics of what healthy eating is, what macros are, and how to find the right macros and diet for your body. So if you are interested, keep watching. Make sure that you are subscribed, because when you subscribe, we automatically become best friends. And hit that bell notification, because I upload 2 videos every week, and that way you'll be first to know whenever I do upload a new one. So I'm Ferrante, guys. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back if you are returning. I share videos here weekly on fitness, beauty, and mindset. I am all about helping you lead a happy and healthy life overall. So let's talk a little bit about weight loss. I personally have been really involved in fitness and nutrition for probably the last 10 years. It's something that I've taken a huge passion into, and I've researched and spent all kinds of time learning more about it and what works for my body. And I have had my own kind of roller coaster. I've put on weight, after college. Everyone says you get that freshman 15. I actually lost a lot of weight in college because I wasn't eating correctly. And then I put it all back on after college, and then I've lost it, and then I gained it, and then I've lost it, and I gained it. I'm sure a lot of people can relate. So I recently lost about 30 pounds. And so I want to dive a little bit about what I did to do that and what I'm doing now to maintain. I had one of my followers reach out to me on Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, follow me right up here at lex.ferrante. I post a lot on there as well. And she reached out to me and she asked me to share a video on what I eat in a day. So I wanted to take this a step further. I think a lot of YouTubers and influencers and creative creators, whatever they call themselves, do this type of video, a what I eat in a day. I want to dive more into it and share why. How did I decide what to eat that day? And I help guide you guys to learn to make those right decisions. And by no means am I a professional. I'm not a dietitian. I'm not a specialist in nutrition. I'm not a fitness coach. I'm not a trainer. These are things that I have learned throughout the years, what have worked through my body, that I have learned from working with trainers and fitness coach and dietitians and close friends of mine that are really involved in the fitness industry. I've actually trained almost to the point where I was going to compete, and so I know a lot about it. I feel like I have a decent amount of knowledge. Again, not a professional. These are just things that I have learned through trial and error, what has worked for me. So first off, I want to talk about macros. This is a term that you're going to hear a lot. What the heck are macros? What the heck are micros? When you're first starting to look into fitness and nutrition, this can be very overwhelming. Macros are what they call macronutrients. So when you're looking at what you eat in a day, your calorie intake, say you're taking in 1,500 calories a day. Macros are the grams of carbs, fats, and proteins that make up that 1,500 calories, and the ratio, the percentage of those calories that you're taking in. So say for example, you're taking in 1,500 calories a day. You might take 35% of that to be protein and 40% of that to be carbs, and the rest of it to be fats. And that's just an estimate. That's not me saying that's what you should be eating. We're going to talk more about that. But that's just in a nutshell what macros are the grams of proteins, carbs, and fats that you're intaking in the amount of calories you're taking that day. Micronutrients, on the other hand, are like the minerals and vitamins involved with those foods. So they're not adding to the calories, they are just the nutrients that your body absorbs from the food, if that makes sense. They're at a micro level. So it's important to have just a general idea of what macros are when you're starting to learn about your fitness lifestyle and what you should be eating. So why macros are important is you're gonna need to know what percentage of carbs, fats, and proteins that you should be taking in. And I think a macro diet is probably the most beneficial, in my opinion, of what I have learned throughout the years. I feel like literally counting and looking at my macros and reading my body and seeing how it responds to changes in the percentages of macros that I'm taking in is how I have learned to, lose the weight that I've lost and to maintain what I want to maintain. So luckily, there are all kinds of tools that you can use to help you find your macros. Literally, just go on your phone and go in the App Store and look up macro calculator. There are probably gonna be 30 different options. Find one that works for you. You're gonna be able to type in your current weight and your goal weight of where you wanna be, and it's gonna break down the macros that it suggests you eat. However, I wanna go further into this. Before we dive into what percentage you should be eating and why, I think it's important to know your body type. So there are 3 main body types, and knowing your body type is gonna allow you to do further research on what macro ratio and what types of workouts are gonna be best for your body type. So the 3 types are endomorph, ectomorph, and mesomorph. So just to dive a little bit into each, I took some notes because I'm only familiar with my body type. Ectomorph, they tend to be long and lanky. They have trouble building muscle, and they just tend to be very lean naturally. On the other end of the aspect is an endomorph. So these people tend to be bigger, they tend to hold weight a lot easier, they're pear-shaped, or apple-shaped, what they say, and they tend to store fat really easily. Myself, I'm a mesomorph. So these are people who are a little more muscular naturally, they have a high metabolism, and their body responds very quickly to changes in diet and exercise. Their muscle cells have really good muscle memory. So knowing what your body type is gonna allow you to research and dive in further as to what you need to be doing and as far as eating and exercise to help you get to your goal weight. So a good tool to find out what type of body type you are is on bodybuilding.com. I'm gonna link the quiz down below. It's super easy. It's just a bunch of multiple choice questions, and it's gonna give you an idea of what your body type is. And you are not 100% a specific type of body type. You can be a combination of the 3, but the quiz is gonna tell you what your majority is, and just focus on your majority to further research and figure out what's best for your body type. So the way I see my diet or my nutrition is I see it as a lifestyle choice. These are things that I have decided to do in lifestyle. I am done doing any crash or fad diets, where I'm gonna severely restrict myself so I can lose the 10 pounds that I want. And then what happens then? You're just done and you get back to your normal bad habits and you're just gonna put it right back on. That is the issue with fad diets or extremely restrictive diets. So I'm not one to severely restrict myself. I am a very social person. I love to go out with friends and family and eat and treat myself. And of course, doing that in moderation is important, and limiting your portion size and making wise decisions. But I am about a lifestyle diet. I am not about a super strict, restrictive, entirely live from a Tupperware. I weigh, measure, everything, cut out all salts and all fats and all of this. It's too restrictive. In my opinion, that is only sustainable for a short amount of time. You can't live like that. It's not healthy to live like that, and frankly, it's just miserable to live like that. So I'm all about finding a diet that works for your lifestyle, where you don't feel restricted, but you are doing things like watching your portion control, limiting your salt intake, watching your sugars and processed foods, things like that. So what I do is I allow myself to have a day where I eat pretty much what I want in a week. The rest of the week, I'm pretty consistent. I know I'm gonna eat one of the 2 same breakfasts. I have similar lunches. I have a home cooked meal for dinner. This is, in the long run, gonna be a lot more sustainable. If you allow yourself to indulge occasionally, you're a lot less likely to fall off that train and get back into bad habits. what I do on top of allowing myself to indulge occasionally in a social setting, of course, I don't just indulge at home. I do it when we go out with friends or family to dinner. I allow myself to order what I want that day because I've been good the rest of the week, and I know that. So I don't feel restricted. I don't feel like I'm not able to eat what I want. Another way that I watch what I eat and limit things is with healthy food substitutions. So I can make another video if you want this done down the road. I can give a whole bunch of examples of healthy food substitutions. But things like I sub mayonnaise, I use plain Greek yogurt. It tastes the same, and it's gonna have a lot more protein and a lot less fat, and it's just gonna be healthier for you in general, and it literally tastes the same. You could sub it for things like sour cream as well. Another thing that I do is instead of pasta, I'll make veggie noodles. I know it's not as good, but you can trick yourself. Or mix half of it. Have half spaghetti noodles and half veggie noodles. And you know that you're gonna limit everything by half. So doing these healthy substitutions are a great way to cut out a lot of the unnecessary macros. Again, carbs, proteins, fats from your diet, and it's also gonna be a great way to add some of those micronutrients to your diet. So do your research. Do me a favor, take the quiz down below. Figure out what kind of body type you are, and then research and figure out what's best for you. The more you know about your body type, what macros are best for your body type, the more success you're going to have. And the more success you have, that means the longer and the more sustainable this lifestyle change is going to be. And I encourage you to use somewhat of a trial and error thing for your fitness, your diet choices. Every body is different. And just because this quiz says that you're an ectomorph or an endomorph and you should only do this, then this is the best exercise for you. Yeah, take that in mind, but try it. Try that and then look at how your body responds. Give it some time. Give it a week, give it 2 weeks to see how your body's responding, and if it's not working, tweak it. So I have found things, throughout the years that my body likes and my body doesn't like. My body tends to not like high amounts of carbs. So I do like a carb cycling process. So I will go 2 days with really low carbs. So I'm not eating any breads, any grains, any beans, things like that, anything that's gonna add a lot of carbs to my diet. And then I will do a high carb day where I am adding a lot of those carbs. And on those days, I'm doing leg day. So I have the strength to be able to lift heavy at the gym. So this is things that I found out throughout the years through trial and error that work for me. So I encourage you to do that for yourself as well. Maybe try doing like an intermittent fasting or carb cycling or a paleo diet, a keto diet. Try doing something like that and really ask yourself, is this something that is sustainable? Or is this gonna be a crash diet that I'm gonna give up on in a couple months and I'm gonna go back to my old bad habits? So that is my advice when you're looking at your weight loss journey and finding the right diet for you. Don't have it be a crash diet. Don't have it be a fad diet. Don't let it be a trend. This should be something that you should want to make a permanent lifestyle choice. You want to do this from now on in order to maintain and keep yourself at a healthy weight level. But if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Again, make sure you are subscribed so we can become best friends. I really appreciate you guys watching. Again, join me up on Instagram at lex.ferrante. I post a lot of stuff on there as well, and I would love to have you join my tribe on Instagram. I appreciate you guys watching. I'll catch you soon. Mwah.